I'm Mia from the Wallet and Apple Pay team, and today I'm excited to share with you just some of our new features this year that I think you'll love. We'll be covering three main topics: enhancements to the merchant and payment experience, improvements on sharing orders with customers, and some great new capabilities coming to the FinanceKit API. But first, let's take a look at the merchant experience. We've continually sought more ways to improve the Apple Pay customer experience, from streamlining payments to offering a multitude of ways for merchants to engage with customers beyond the purchase. And this year is no different. We're introducing a new and improved design for the Apple Pay button, a new way to view pre-authorized payments, and a way for merchants to provide rich information to help your brand stand out. It's been a decade since we launched Apple Pay, and ever since then, users have looked to it for secure, trusted, and reliable payments. Now, I'm sure you're all familiar with this. Customers love the easy checkout experience it brings, simplifying the process and letting them skip straight to the purchase. We wanted to bring an even better experience to merchants and customers alike, so this year, the Apple Pay button gets dynamic. Let's have a look at it in action. When using your app, relevant customers may see their default payment method with their card art on display. The new button will help engage customers and bring them into the Apple Pay experience, making checkouts easier and faster than before. For the button to show the best card for the purchase, provide a merchant category code and the supported payment networks as part of your payment request, and pass it in to the button's initializer. If the default card is unavailable for a transaction, the next available card is shown instead. As a refresher, a merchant category code is one of a list of industry-standard, predefined codes that represent the various types of commerce a merchant can engage in. It lets customers know in advance whether a payment method is supported for your transaction, helping them choose the right one and avoid pesky failed payments. You can easily set a merchant category code for payment requests both in-app and on the web. So let's see how that's done. Here, we have an existing in-app PK payment request that we're going to add a merchant category code to. We already indicate what payment networks are supported by the transaction using the supported networks and merchant capabilities properties. Cards using payment networks not in the supported networks array are marked as unavailable, while merchant capabilities can be used to specify which cryptographic protocols and card types are supported for the payment. To allow these to affect which card is shown on the dynamic Apple Pay button, make sure to use an initializer that takes a PK payment request. For merchant category codes, all you need to do is initialize one with your relevant code for your business and assign it to the merchant category code property. This one in particular refers to pet shops, pet food, and supplies. Now you're all set. Again, we encourage you to provide a merchant category code whenever you create a payment request, along with supported networks and merchant capabilities whenever it's relevant to enable the best experience for you and your customers. Anyway, let's get back to the button. We prioritize user privacy and security, so just as before, card art and card details are inaccessible to apps that use Apple Pay. SwiftUI and UIKit apps will adopt the new button for free, no extra development work required. However, if you did want to use the previous treatment, we're adding a new view modifier to help with that. Here we have an example implementation of an Apple Pay button within an app. By default, the optimal appearance is chosen based on the user's circumstances, but if you apply a Pay with Apple Pay button disabled card art view modifier, the original button will always be shown. The modifier works on view hierarchies as well, so you can apply it to multiple views at once, or have it apply across the entire app. That was our update to the Apple Pay button. With that, we move on to our enhancements to merchant tokens and pre-authorized payments. We created a unified view for pre-authorized payments and brought you more opportunities for customizing your customers' experience. They can view all of their pre-authorized payments in one place and receive notifications about upcoming payments. Finally, you can now provide rich information to customize how you appear to users and give them an engaging interaction with your brand. Let's see how this works. The new pre-authorized payment view can be found in the Wallet app by selecting Payments from the new More menu or via the Card Details view. From it, you can see a list of every pre-authorized payment and the merchants that they're from. Now, let's navigate into a merchant and see what it offers. As you can see, the merchant presentation has been greatly improved. Before, you only had the merchant name as determined by the payment network, but now you can provide an icon, a custom merchant name, a description and image for every payment, and more. This will bring a much more engaging experience to your customers, helping them recognize your brand and understand their payments better. You can also set your icon via Apple Business Connect, so let's take a look at that. Apple Business Connect is a service that lets you register information about your business, such as your logo, name, and email addresses. This lets you unify your brand by controlling how you appear in maps, mail, and more. This provides a consistent experience to your customers wherever your brand appears across the system. To get started with Apple Business Connect, simply visit the website, register your business, and fill in the details. Every entry is vetted by Apple, so customers have the peace of mind that your brand is your brand. Next up, looks like I just got a notification. My sock subscription is about to renew tomorrow, so let's tap it to view more details. As you can see, it brings me right to the relevant view within pre-authorized payments with all the lovely branding provided by the merchant. From here, I can see all of the information I need and can manage the payment if there's anything wrong. After all that excitement, I'm sure you're wondering how to implement it. Well, pre-authorized payments is built on top of merchant tokens, a capability we released in iOS 16 that allows for more reliable charging of customers on an ongoing basis. For more information on how merchant tokens work and how to adopt them, check out our What's New in Wallet and Apple Pay talk from WWDC25. To enable rich merchant information for pre-authorized payments, you'll need a vendor bundle containing it from a bundle vending endpoint. That endpoint is part of a merchant token API implemented on your servers that will be reached out to by your customers' devices using information that you provide. Let's go through a brief overview of the web service flow and then take a closer look at how to construct and deliver a merchant token usage information bundle. Before starting the flow for any tokens, generate and persist a merchant public-private key pair. This will be used as part of the encryption for every bundle across all of your customers. When starting a flow, first fetch a merchant token public key from the Apple Pay server. Then combine the fetched merchant token public key with your generated merchant private key using HPKE in auth mode to make a derived encryption key. Now, generate an authentication token and encrypt it along with your web service URL using the derived encryption key to form your encrypted metadata. The web service URL is the base URL for your merchant token API implementation, and the authentication token can be any value you want, but it must be secure, private, and unique to each customer, because you'll use it to validate the originator of requests. Finally, take your encrypted metadata, your generated merchant public key, and additional encrypted metadata, create a merchant token usage information package availability notification, and send it to the Apple Pay server. From there, the customer's device will reach out to the merchant token usage information endpoint implemented on your server, substituting in the identifier of a merchant token you've provided. Your endpoint will return a merchant token usage information package encrypted using the merchant token public key fetched from the Apple Pay server. The package itself should be a zip file containing a usage information JSON file, a merchant logo, product images, and optional localization information. Be aware that each usage information package has a maximum size of 5 megabytes, so keep in mind the size and compression of your images. For more details on the web service flow, specification of the response format, and the encryption requirements for the package, visit the developer documentation. Let's take a closer look at the merchant token usage information schema. While there are many parts to the schema, here we'll focus on the most important fields. Merchant token identifier must match the identifier of the merchant token of which you are providing the usage information. Merchant name is the name or localization key for the merchant, and merchant logo name is the file name of an image within the package. Upcoming payments and past payments lets you provide details about the various payments a customer has with you, including descriptions, amounts, line items, and more. If you do not provide merchant token usage information, customers will only see the default merchant name that comes from the payment network. As you can see, the difference is night and day. As always, this data is private and secure. All merchant token information is end-to-end encrypted between you and the customer's device. This is so that nobody else, not even Apple, can see any pre-authorized payment information. That was the enhancements coming to the merchant and payments experience. With it, we've brought you a fresh new Apple Pay button and a great way to control how customers interact with your brand in Wallet. Now, let's see what's coming next for order tracking. Since iOS 16, you've been able to track orders from supported merchants right in the Wallet app, featuring automatic notifications, real-time updates, and integrated management features. This has helped customers stay informed and up-to-date with their purchases, easing the support burden on merchants and reducing missed deliveries. Currently, there are 3 ways to provide an order to your customers: implement it as part of your Apple Pay flow, provide an order bundle as an email attachment, or place an Add Order to Wallet button in your app. These have been great for users and merchants alike, so we wanted to streamline that experience even more with the addition of an automatic order tracking feature. Using the power of Apple Intelligence, Wallet can now securely and privately detect order emails in the Mail app, automatically convert them into Wallet orders, and add them to Wallet, letting you view all of them together in one place. This makes it even easier for everyone, from small businesses to large retailers, to get in on the action. Relevant emails from delivery companies will also be linked to orders, ensuring customers get the most up-to-date information about their deliveries. Let's take a look at an example. Here we have a delivery confirmation email from a merchant and its corresponding order ingested into Wallet. As you can see, the merchant name, delivery window, and tracking number have been detected and placed into the corresponding order fields. All emails related to the order can be viewed and opened from here as well. Getting your order information in the right place is important, so let's take a look at how you can optimize the process. To ensure an optimal user experience, make sure you're including all of the important order information in your emails. This includes a merchant name in the email body, an order number in every email, and a tracking number to link any carrier emails to the order. Also, verify your orders are appearing with the correct data by going through the ingestion flow with a test email and opening them in Wallet to make sure everything's working as expected. However, if you wish to further enhance the experience, there are a few things you can do. As with pre-authorized payments, your logo and other merchant details can also be set by Apple Business Connect. This will set the logo and merchant name across all of your email orders. For the best experience with order tracking, make sure to register any email addresses used for order confirmations or other related interactions. Automatic order tracking is slick, but if you want to provide information beyond what fits in an email, you can still attach an order bundle or set a web service URL on your web and in-app payment requests. This offers the full suite of features, including emailless order updates, integrated receipts and returns, and an easy way to direct users to download or open your app. That was our new automatic order tracking feature coming to Wallet and Mail. To get started with that or any of our other order tracking features, visit Apple Business Connect or read the documentation for order tracking bundles and check out what's new in Wallet and Apple Pay 23 for FinanceKit's order tracking API. Speaking of FinanceKit, we have some exciting new functionality coming this year that will enhance your app's capabilities and help you bring a whole new set of features to your users. But first, let's have a look at a new expansion to the FinanceKit market. Since the release of the FinanceKit API in iOS 17.4, we've loved seeing all of the ways developers have been able to use them with Apple Card and Apple Cash. That year, we also launched connected cards in the UK, utilizing the open banking standard to allow users to see all of their transactions right on their devices. So this year, we've brought the two together and made the FinanceKit API available in the UK. Your finance apps now have access to a whole new market, expanding your reach and increasing your potential user base. As always, we've made no compromises on privacy and security. Users can control which apps have access to their data and how much data each app can access exactly the same as before. If you're unfamiliar with FinanceKit, it allows apps to query financial data stored on the device, including accounts, account balances, and transactions. Data can be accessed either through individual queries or received over time via an async sequence. For more information on how FinanceKit works, check out Meet FinanceKit from WWDC25 or browse the developer documentation. Now, onto the new FinanceKit API, background delivery. There are many great ways to use the FinanceKit API, so we wanted to build on that to bring you an easy way to utilize it outside of the regular app lifecycle. This comes in the form of a new extension type that you can add to your app, a background delivery extension. When you create one, your extension will be notified whenever data changes in the finance store, and it can process that information however you like. This happens regardless of if your app is running or not, making it easy to do things like update a widget as users shop or produce regular spending reports on device. Now, let's take a look at how background delivery extension works and how we can add it to an existing app. Here, we got our simple spending tracker already set up with FinanceKit, to which we want to add a widget so our users can more easily keep on top of their spending habits. As it currently stands, the app interacts with the finance store, calculates our spending total, and writes that into persistent storage, using it to update the app's UI. Adding in our widget, we now need to move our data store into an app group to allow it to be accessed across all of our targets. Currently, the app is needed to trigger a widget update whenever its stored data has changed, which the widget then reads from the app group or receives via an app intent. However, by adding a background delivery extension to our project, we can decouple our widget's update from our app and tie it more directly to the finance store itself, letting it independently update in the background. Our background delivery extension will be notified when changes occur in the finance store and calculate an up-to-date spending total, which it saves to storage. It then triggers a widget update in the same way as our app, causing the widget to read our data and display it, no app code required. Let's go through the extensions API, then implement it to power our widget. There are two endpoints that need to be implemented in your extension: did receive data and will terminate. Did receive data is the entry point of the extension and receives an array of background data type, indicating which types of data in the finance store have changed. These data types are directly equivalent to the queryable FinanceKit data types: accounts, account balances, and transactions. When the extension returns from did receive data, its work is considered finished and the extension will close. Your extension has a limited time window in which to operate, and you are expected to write your extension with that in mind. Will terminate is called when your extension has reached the end of its time window, and it gives an opportunity to gracefully stop and save any ongoing work. Now for some example code. From within did receive data, you can use the FinanceKit API to query and process data from the finance store. We know our extension will only be called if transactions have changed, so we query all transactions since the start of the week and total their amounts. Once that's done, we add it to our store, update our widget, and exit the function. If our extension is about to terminate, we save the changes we made to the store so far. This isn't as important in a simple example like this, but it's crucial to avoid data loss if you're processing large amounts of data at once. Now, let's see what we need to do in our app. All our app needs to do is indicate to the finance store which data types we want to receive updates for and what frequency we want to receive them. We have the option to enable delivery for data types, disable delivery for them, or disable delivery for all data types. Subsequent calls with the same data types will update their values accordingly. Every data type can have one of three update frequencies: hourly, daily, and weekly. These represent the expected minimum interval between extension launches, and if no data changes, your extension won't be called. For example, if you select an hourly window, your extension may be called right after data changes, but if data changes within the subsequent hour, your extension won't be called again until that hour has elapsed. If more than an hour has passed since the last extension call, your extension will be called the next time data changes. The window of time for your extension to process data is larger for longer update frequencies, so make sure to choose an appropriate one for your use case. Here we have an example of a more complex app that fetches all of an account's transactions when the account is connected to FinanceKit, then processes further transactions as they come in. Before it can enable background delivery, it needs to request authorization from the user to access their account's transactions. Authorizations made in the main app are inherited by the extension, so you only need to worry about it once. The app then registers for transactions with an hourly frequency and accounts with a daily frequency. This means that by checking the types passed to did receive data, the extension can utilize a longer window to fetch and process historical transaction data when account is added, but stick to more frequent updates when new transactions appear. Now we've created our extension, let's go to Xcode to finish off our app. Our app's category is set to finance, and we've already set up a financial data entitlement through the developer website, so we're authorized to use FinanceKit. That financial data entitlement has been added to both our app and our background delivery extension so they can access the FinanceKit API. The last step is to add our widget. Go to File, New, Target, and select the widget extension template from the list. Now that's done, we can add in our widget code and make sure it builds. Oh, looks like it's good. So let's install it to our device and see it in action. Our app needs to run once to make sure everything's enabled, but after that, we can add our widget to the home screen. Now we've set up our app extension and widget, we can go buy something and watch it work its magic. I haven't eaten today, so let's grab some food. After I've made a purchase and the transaction comes through from the card issuer, we can see our widget is now showing our updated weekly spend. Ouch! And widgets are just the beginning. We can't wait to see all the awesome features you create, leveraging the power of background delivery. That brings us to the end of FinanceKit and the end of our presentation today. That's been What's New in Apple Pay. We've covered lots of great features that you can use to enhance everything from your customer's experience to your app's features and capabilities. To unify your brand presence in pre-authorized payments, extracted orders, and more, visit the Apple Business Connect website and register today. If you want to provide rich merchant information and more in pre-authorized payments, take a look at the documentation and check out WWDC25's What's New in Wallet and Apple Pay for a merchant tokens refresher. To start providing your customers with the best orders experience, register your email addresses in Apple Business Connect and double-check your orders information appears as expected in Wallet. Or integrate order tracking bundles into your purchase flow to offer detailed information and functionality that extends beyond the email. To get started with background delivery, you can dive right in from Xcode or check out WWDC24 to get your hands dirty with FinanceKit. Thank you all very much for watching. See ya!